This is CliffCentral.com. Auto Central, powered by AutoTrader on CliffCentral.com.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time of the week again. Yes, welcome to Auto Central here on Cliff Central, proudly brought to you by AutoTrader.co.za, your trusted motoring marketplace. Yes, joined in studio here. My name is Chad Lukov, and I'm joined in studio by Wilmarie Janssen van Rensburg, SA Speed Queen.
Hey, hello, how are you?
All right, and you?
I'm good. Awesome. Yeah. We're just missing some valuable...
Yes, we are. We're missing George,
yeah.
But we have a pseudo replacement for him this week. So we are joined in studio by a man that goes by the name of Cliff.
Indeed.
Hello. Yes, welcome, Cliff.
Hi, how are you?
All right, yourself.
Good.
Yes, now Cliff has an alter ego, if we can put it that way.
Yeah.
And you guys know him, and no doubt you know him. You know him really, really well. But your name is Pigspotter, so
Indeed.
Welcome.
Hi, Harvard.
And you said we're fine. We can mention the name and that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give away
absolutely.
the last name and that, because then all the Facebook friend requests start piling in.
That's exactly what's happened. I've had to decline a lot of them.
A lot of them, yes,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Sorry,
So do you have a business page or personal?
Well, I actually have two pages. I have a fan page and then I have a personal page. But it's been a bit crazy on the personal page.
On the personal page, yeah.
Well, you're part of the family here, with
Thank
old
you.
Cliff bit.
I know, yeah, it's like Cliff Squared, right?
Yeah. So we're going to take a pic just now.
Cool.
And on Twitter as well, so you guys can see what Cliff looks like.
Yes,
Some
absolutely.
interesting questions ahead, hey?
Now, yes, I mean the big thing is you're an ordinary guy doing ordinary things and
100%, yeah. Just living my life day to day. Yeah.
Carrying on, going about things.
Yeah, the struggle's real.
The struggle is real. Well, okay, let's catch up with what's been going on in the world of motoring and that.
Yeah.
And Wilmarie, anything interesting happening on your side?
Well, we had a very interesting question last week, remember, about Brazil and the Formula One.
Twitter poll.
Would Hamilton eventually win in Brazil? And guess what? No,
he would not win in Brazil.
And we actually had all the I think we had 51% of the guys on Twitter saying no, or 51 and 49 said yes. So the majority was right. He didn't actually manage to do it.
Yeah, these are the results here. 48% said yes, and 52% said no. Yeah, so very,
it was
very
mixed
tight.
feelings, but he was supposed to, and again, he didn't manage to.
He didn't pull it out.
So it's just not his track, it seems. So he's got a little gremlin there.
Are you a motorsport enthusiast, Cliff?
I kind of am, but since Schumi left, not really.
Well,
I'll be honest. I was a very big fan of Schumacher. Before that, Ayrton Senna. But
it's like me with
lost my
Rossi,
interest.
but Schumacher too. But interesting question on that as well, because this is not for the Twitter, so we can answer it now. General question: who's still the most experienced German driver in F1 history?
I'm going to assume it's not Schumacher.
It is.
Is it? Okay, all right.
It is. That's brilliant. Okay,
I thought it
because
was going to be a trick question.
no, well, I thought I'd just give you an easy one, but
Now, the reason for that is because Brazil was Rosberg's 184th race start, which means he has passed Nick Heidfeld to become the second most experienced German driver in F1 history. Okay. Michael Schumacher sits on 306 starts.
Quite a while away, huh?
It's brilliant thinking he hasn't raced for how long, Shame, and he is there still hopes, there seems to be still, but it's been a long time, so still this man manages to just, he is one of the best.
He's the greatest.
It's very unfortunate what happened there, so...
Yeah, and we haven't heard much as to what has become of Schumacher and that, and I think rightly so. After something like that, let the man have his life, let him...
His family, they want
his family
privacy
and that, the
yeah.
privacy and that. We don't need to be in the guy's pocket. Understand that, yes, you accept the sort of responsibility when it comes to being a high-profile figure, and when you want somebody that is as successful as that, then you need to accept that these are, terms and conditions. This is par for the course. Cliff,
100%.
yourself, you know it as well. There's virtually no aspect, especially now that you've been ousted, that's sacred. Anything that is, holy, sacred, hidden. Everything, everybody now believes is public domain, and every little nuance of your public life they want to know everything about it.
That's the issue with social media and with the web as a general. It's like as soon as you create one account, you create a different email address, or you create 2-3 different accounts. Everything all links up, and it's just easy to find anyone at any point.
It only takes a little amount of skill to be able to do that.
100%. But did you guys know some people make this mistake as well, especially if you're one of those bad social media people,
trolls.
Exactly.
Trolls.
Is that what you call them?
Yes.
Well, people sometimes don't realize that when you tweet or Facebook or whatever your message, it gives your location.
Yeah,
unless you.
Some of them do. Yeah. You can actually turn that on and off at least.
Yes.
Thankfully.
But go check that. I mean, if you want to be mean, make sure people can't find you. It's something as simple as that. So
the thing is, it is very convoluted in terms of, you take your general social media profiles, your Twitter and your Facebook and that, and with the constant changes that are happening with them, and this is a very real thing, and it is social media security and being able to understand it. For the layman out there, sometimes it's completely over his head as to what are all these settings and what is going to grab his location. Just the settings on a cell phone alone.
Sure.
And with the implementation that Google's coming in with all their, wanting to streamline everything and know everything, they're going to automate everything. Driving on the way here, it said that, it's going to take you 9 minutes. I didn't ask it anything. It said it's going to take you 9 minutes to get to Cliff Central with the current traffic.
Yeah.
How did they know?
It has picked up on my routine that every Wednesday I make my way down to Cliff Central
at this time.
That's
frightening.
It's very frightening.
Yeah. They actually even have some logistics in there that detects how often also you fly down to Cape Town. And then all of a sudden you'll start getting feeds up on your Twitter or on your Facebook saying, hey, listen, cheapest airline tickets here.
So it is like a habit thing. It actually picks up your routine.
That's Google.
So now, if you're one of those cheating ones, be careful if you're sharing your.
Well, listen. Let's just knock on the Ashley Madison door there, and just say that there was that massive outing, and it was why? Because somebody got in through the back door somewhere and got in, had all these profiles, and all of a sudden destroyed lives, businesses, relationships, destroyed.
It's actually sad.
Granted, it's infidelity, and we don't condone it, but hey.
Yes, 100%. But all this technology, even we were saying a while back in Formula One too, there are these, the guys that's been in Formula One for years, the old-fashioned proper racers is what they call themselves, that are saying that it's boring at the moment, and it's boys racing, it's not men anymore.
100%. I actually think, if I have to say it would probably go right back to when Schumi was with Ferrari. Okay, and I don't know if you remember, there was a whole scandal where Mercedes-Benz managed to get their blueprints for the vehicles. I didn't know that. Okay, Ferrari with Schumacher and all that, he had done so many different changes to the cars that gave their company a massive advantage. That's why they're winning absolutely everything, correct, in development stage. And he spent a lot of time on the track and practicing and saying, listen, guys, let's tweak this, let's change that. If I'm not mistaken, one of the things, just one of them, was instead of putting normal air in the tires, he would put nitrogen, which obviously, wears down less, and, they're able to stay out on the track a lot longer.
And the pressure.
And Mercedes-Benz actually managed to somehow come across it, so somehow it was leaked out. And from then, like, literally the competition just neutralized, and there was absolutely no more excitement behind it.
Different level, all the noise stuff, everything. Technology is great, but it also has its
downside.
Everything takes a little while to get polished up to a brilliant shine and to work nice and seamlessly.
Sure.
And
just to get it taken away.
One
foul move.
I believe it's still largely the development stages and the development phases.
Foul moves happening.
We sat there. Take a look at just something simple as cruise control in a vehicle. It was a very archaic system.
On bikes,
And on bikes, yes. That's one way that has come in. And it started out as this very archaic system working on a vacuum that just keeps the throttle open and all this type of thing. And now to the point where it's using the technology to guide and to detect if a vehicle is pulled in front of you or if it's pulled out of the way, to modulate your radar guidance and that. So the initial systems, yes, fantastic and award-winning and great in their day, but then just with a little bit of polish, it becomes something that is so second nature that is no longer troublesome or problematic, and that flows smoothly.
Could be great,
So, I consider these growing pains in
100%.
Terms of the technology, and let's see where it goes. Let's be
even with
optimistic
Volvo as well,
about
with their new vehicles that have the new technology to drive themselves. 100% drive themselves.
Autonomous driving, yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see that.
Anybody that's been on YouTube and that has been interested in the topic has seen the amount of fail videos that have come from these automated braking systems, these autonomous driving. I mean, yes, when you got the owner of the creator of the Segway riding off of a cliff, you know, there's not you, Cliff, but you've got these idiosyncrasies, these real problems that do rear their heads.
Well, at least he was willing to try his own product.
Well, you live by the Segway, you die by the Segway.
There we go.
Listen, I'm curious though. Okay, we know you. People know you as, and if they don't know you, they'll now quickly find out Pigspotter.
Yes.
But if you have to sum yourself up in terms of that now, in a few, like in a sentence.
In a sentence, I would say bad boy versus Metro Police, vigilante / Robin Hood. I've been called Robin Hood. And social media rock star. Let's go with that.
Okay.
I love that line.
You love that line. Social media rock star.
Yeah.
Well,
I like Robin Hood.
For those that are completely in the dark and under a blanket or under a rock somewhere, in a cave out in, I don't know, Kuruman or something of the sorts. What is Pigspotter? How did you come to it, and basically what is the whole Pigspotter principle?
Okay, basically Pigspotter started out in 2010. I was driving around a heck of a lot, and I saw how cops were hiding between cars, between walls, trapping through trees, even inside bushes. They would actually even take dustbins and set up like some kind of camouflage. They would park on the side of the road, lift up the bonnet and the boot of the car to look like the car had been broken down, and they would literally be sitting next to it, trapping vehicles.
And they're not allowed to do that?
They actually are.
Are they now?
There is no law against them doing that. There's nothing to say that they have to be visible. So it doesn't have to be visible policing. But that in itself just goes to show that it's all for monetary gain. It's got absolutely nothing to do with road safety. Because if it was to do with road safety, you'd want to be seen. You'd want people to slow down when they see you. So I was driving on the highway. I was heading out towards the airport. And old Aki Anastasio, he was... Okay, sorry, Aki, I didn't mean old. But so Aki Anastasio tweeted about a specific accident on the highway on the R21 heading towards the airport. And I was heading in that direction, and it's like, take evasive action, go a different route. So I did. I got off in Linksfield, and I drove right next to the R21, and I could see the accident. And I just realized like how instantaneous Twitter actually was.
Yes.
And saved me easily like an hour. I would have been stuck in that traffic. So I decided, okay, well, it's amazing how instantaneous it is. Wouldn't it be nice if there would be someone to tell people where the cops are trapping? And I was having a good chat with our old Cindy Paluta on the other station.
Yes.
And I said to her, listen, wouldn't it be really cool if I started like an account that would expose where the cops are setting up traps and so on? And I said, what do you think of the name Pigspotter? And she was like, no, that's way too offensive. People aren't going to like it. And I was like, that's it.
That's the one.
That's me. All right, I'll definitely do that.
Sign me up.
That's it. Sign me up for that. And immediately, as soon as I started tweeting.
It was available?
It was available, of course. Like, it's a new concept. And, I mean, since then, we've had absolutely everything else. We've had Shark Spotter. We've had Slut Spotter. We've had pig spotting down in Cape Town, KwaZulu-Natal, freaking everywhere. I think even one in Kuruman. Not that there are many cars there.
Yes.
But, so it literally took off pretty quickly. I think Gareth was actually one of the first people who retweeted me and said, hey, Pigspotter, keep up with the pork references. And just that tweet alone got me like 300 followers within 20 minutes. I was like, booyah.
Onto something
here. And I literally had about 5,000 followers, I think, in a month. And then, because I started on the 29th of July. And then on the 14th of September, Aki Anastasio wrote in a motoring journal, say, listen, and he was completely against what I did with regards to calling the cops pigs and things like that. And his newspaper article brought it to the fore, and everyone all of a sudden started asking questions, started following. And then on the 16th of September, that's when it hit every single radio station, TV station, newspaper, articles. I had calls from Sky News, CNN, overseas England also wanted to interview me. And it literally grew 20,000 followers in a day.
20,000 followers in a day.
Yeah, because
that's massive.
I saw this thing how, you were it was like a media frenzy, but you mentioned how you haven't received a cent for it, for all this publicity.
Yeah, 100%.
And people think that's why you're doing it.
Yeah, no. I'm not one for the whole publicity thing behind it. That's why I stayed anonymous for 5 years. And only recently now, because I'm being sued for $500,000, that the courts actually released my name. I'm assuming it was the courts, and News 24, I think it was, and IOL Online, they just went to town with it. And like, hey, here we go, guys. This is Pigspotter. He's now being sued for $500,000.
Yeah.
So who's suing you?
It's a Vuzu rich kid star. His claim to fame obviously is being rich, or his mommy and daddy being rich. Sorry, and so he decided to sue me for defamation of character because a couple of months ago he was involved in an accident where a biker was killed, knocked over and killed.
Okay.
And there were 4 witnesses on scene, and I tweeted about it after I got information from Kobe Delport and from other various WhatsApp groups. So they all sent me information saying, listen, it was definitely him. You can see he was driving in his mom's car. And someone actually died, and they fled the scene as well from the.
But why is it defamation of character, though?
Now that's where the fun comes in. So he's obviously now trying to claim that he was not there on scene, that it actually wasn't him driving the vehicle, and that he wasn't on scene, and that they didn't flee. 4 people who were there saw the accident, saw the crash, saw him get into a white BMW and drive away. What has actually come to light, which is actually the first time I'm actually going to say this to anyone, was that there you go, breaking news. Was that on the accident report form, he is claiming that it was actually his brother who was driving the car, and his brother is about 2 or 3 years older than him, but they look absolutely identical. If you look at their Instagram photos, you could easily mistake the 2 of them, but I don't entirely believe that. I do think that it may still be false. The truth will come out. So we're probably going to be tracking some cell phone records and things like that to see who it was that called that the white BMW, which is their dad, and see which number it was that made that phone call. If it was Nape or if it was his brother. So it's all up in the air at the moment, and my lawyers are busy tackling that.
So you don't have any regrets though, because from what I'm understanding is you're doing this for the road safety side, and whoever did, who's guilty, that was wrong what they did by fleeing.
Absolutely.
And someone also died. It's unacceptable. So even with all that, and now you're getting this backlash.
Yeah.
Any regrets?
No, I don't have any regrets. I have nothing against putting information out there, putting truth out there.
Yeah.
If it is 100% factual and it's proven to me 100% factual that he wasn't involved, I will say, hey, listen, sorry Nate, but I'll say to his face, I won't be like him and just issue court papers and say, there you go, no communication whatsoever, but hey, I'm suing you for $500,000.
Yes. So didn't even try and make contact?
Nothing at all. No. Well, he put out one tweet saying, it's not true. And that was it. I'll release a statement later on. And that was the only thing.
That was pretty much the last that was heard of it.
Pretty much. And then, but one of the biggest issues I have on social media and with the whole Twitter is that immediately, as soon as I tweeted about that, I got condemned and by all his fans and his following, which is kind of acceptable, because I'm obviously
it's going to happen. It's human nature.
Will happen. Yeah, but one of the biggest issues I have was I was being called racist, left, right, and center. Yeah. Absolutely, every single person said, "Oh, you're being racist." What. And dude, if I really was 100% racist, I'll say, cool, I'll block absolutely every single black person from following me. I don't want black people to get my information. That kind of scenario. I'm not racist. Okay, so I'm just putting it out there. And then as soon as it was now discovered and the message was out there that the biker himself was a black guy, all of a sudden people turn around like, oh, sorry, Pigspotter, we thought it was a white guy. Yes. But if it's a black guy, okay, cool, you're not racist.
So really just jumping to the conclusions in that.
100%.
And no doubt, you've heard over the past 5 years as well, people saying there that you are out against the metro, you are against the laws, you are just an anarchist that just wants to go against the rules and that. Yeah. But it's not so, is it?
No,
you're just trying to provide a public service for people.
It's 100%. And I actually, a lot of people have even said I actually contribute more towards road safety than setting up a speed trap. If you're literally sitting on a little side of the road and you're filming someone flying down the road 160 kilometers an hour, cool, great. You'll be able to send him, a nice fine down in the post. But what happens 200 meters down the road if he goes and he has an accident and kills someone? So what exactly did you hide him behind a car between rocks?
Didn't achieve much other than money, like you were saying
100%.
earlier. Yeah.
100%. So
yeah, visible policing probably has a greater strength than actually
100%. I mean, even in
punishment, yes.
Exactly. And
because people flash each other and like warn each other, everyone slows down, so it does bring down
but that's now the other side of things, and I'm actually quite surprised that nothing really has come of the other aspect of it. In flashing lights and that is deemed to be a punishable offence.
Yeah,
because it's defeating the ends. Yeah, it's defeating the ends of justice.
Exactly. They did try to bring that up, but that's not true. That's false.
Okay.
You know why? Because, I mean, you have no specific... I mean, they would have to prove that you had knowledge that the person who's oncoming towards you was breaking the speed limit.
First and foremost.
Yes,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Which you don't.
And then they have to prove your little flash. You know what I mean?
As well, sadly, it's their word against yours, and their word does carry more weight as an officer of the law and that.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, yes. We're going to go with the supposedly there. No, that's uncensored. We call the shots here all for opinions and that.
There you go.
And, they'd be able to hold that up in court, but it's more just getting the panties in a knot because, well, you're ruining our day and you're ruining whether it's our income or our bonuses to do however you believe it goes. You are interfering with our work
with our duty.
Se. With our duty.
Which is definitely a criminal offence. That
you can be arrested for. And that's where they feel that they've got that leg to stand on, but not so. And you were saying that there's actually no real court cases that have come from the state or the Department of Transport or anything up against you for being or for defeating the ends of justice per se.
I mean, I was actually charged with defeating ends of justice, criminal injuria, and defamation of character, to all the cops, I suppose. All people I refer to as pigs, porkers, pork chops. And, nothing's come out of it. So after 5 years, I believe the docket was going between Sophia Town Police Station and the DPP. And that's it. Nothing's ever come out of it. And in actual fact, when Minal was interviewed in 2013, I think it was just after the Easter.
He's in charge of Metro or something.
No, he's just a spokesperson. He's just big lips. And sorry, he's a puppet. He's being strung around. And they actually asked him, listen, are you guys still after this Pigspotter guy? What's happening? And his response was, no, he's a friend of the community, so he's a friend of ours. I'm like, oh, yeah, man, come on. What a letdown. What a letdown. Yeah.
You almost wanted a little bit of drama and a little bit of fanfare around it.
That entire time was phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah.
And some people would find that will cancel their Twitter account.
No, naturally, this was at the height of your anonymity. So, you could go out there and you could say, this is fantastic because they're attacking Pigspotter.
Correct.
They're not attacking Cliff.
Sure.
They're attacking Pigspotter.
Exactly.
So, how has it changed now that you've actually come out? I mean, has there been much of a change in terms...
That's after 5 years, eh?
Yeah, 5 years.
After 5 years of
being
keeping it up. How has it changed things?
Nothing's changed at all. And if anything, it's actually been somewhat positive. So thank you, Nape. Appreciate it, bud. I've had people, corporates actually approach me and say, listen, we would actually like to do some work with you now that we know who you are. I've had clients phone me up like, oh my God, I hear you on the radio and I've just seen you on 4 Ways Review. So it's been quite an interesting transition. I still would have preferred to be anonymous, personally. I don't like the whole, being out there vibe, and especially with the clients now, like referring to me as Pigspotter. I'm like, guys, seriously? No, it's Cliff. I'm still Cliff.
Yes.
And aside from the random Facebook requests, nothing really has changed.
But these random requests are girls.
Yes, actually, some of them. And I had one the other day, which I did put on Facebook. It's like that awkward moment was the SAPS superintendent decided he was going to friend me on Facebook. I'm like, oh, that could be awkward.
That could be, that's an awkward breakfast, isn't it?
Did you decline it?
No, I actually accepted it.
Oh, good.
I actually accepted it. I wanted to see if he had something to say, and he didn't say anything. I'm like, okay.
Not yet.
You're big on offering this service to the public, and you've done it. You did it anonymously for 5 years before, as you say, unfortunately being ousted, but fortunately at the same time, like you say. And surely there's some sort of celebrity status that comes to that. I mean, you would have been able to use this as a fantastic platform.
Celebrity? What is celebrity? Can I eat it? No. I'm sorry. Celebrity means nothing to me.
Well, your photo shoot was like celebrity-like.
It was bad boy-like. Okay, that was the vibe that I was going for. Not really celebrity. It's just more like a bad boy.
Where can we see that? Because
well, I'm actually going to be putting it up on the website. Once my website is up and running properly, then I'll actually put some photos up of the shoot and I'll credit the people relevant. Like Steve Castings, Kelly Blend, all the models.
Photographers and that.
Yeah. Well, Kelly Blaine's the makeup artist. He was the photographer, which I think you all probably know from Playboy. Yes, no, maybe.
Playboy.
Yeah.
Why on earth?
I don't know if you know that.
Skill.
Have you worked with him?
The man's got skill. And and then obviously the models, which is I had Angel Crystal, Nikki Duplessis, Maddie Fonzale, and Michelle Sebanda as well. And obviously Monique Fonzale, she was the one who actually came up with the idea. So listen, let's have a photo shoot. Let's do it at Hell's Kitchen, which is a proper decent venue.
Yes, and you were the only guy there in and amongst the girls. So that's where the bad boy...
Oh, of course.
Bad boy Pigspotter.
Now, you said that the corporates are wanting to hop on board this. I mean... Do you get paid to do this?
No, I don't get paid at all to do what I do. What I have actually started doing was maybe doing a little bit of monetizing on the tweets. With regards, I had King Price Insurance. They came on board. So listen, we would like some sponsored tweets from you.
Because there is fantastic value. You've got how many followers now?
Now it's 390,000 now.
390,000.
Yeah.
So I mean that's strong digital real estate that you've got there.
Absolutely. And in actual fact, King Price came on board. It was probably about 2 years ago. So I only had like 250,000 followers, and already then my tweets were valued at about 5,000 rand each. And so they paid me for 3 tweets. They paid me 5,000 rand each. So I got 15k from that. And then also had No Regret Friday and the Break Free campaign. Just for like a 10-second video, I got 15,000 rand on the back of a bucky. That was really interesting. And yeah, I literally just took that and went and gave it to Chuck.
King, so you actually just donated it?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So all the proceeds and all the corporate funding that has come in so far, you've passed on. You've donated it back to Chuck.
Correct. Yeah.
King Price.
King Price Insurance.
Okay.
The
so
only
it's
insurance company that actually
though.
depreciates the value of the vehicle every month, so you actually pay less of a premium.
Which
Are you
is
getting
so
paid for this, by the way?
No. Should be, actually.
You should be.
No, but you know what? I actually got an SMS yesterday from an anonymous insurance company who said to me, by the way, have you checked if your insurance company have decreased your premiums? And we forget that every month, and they're supposed to do that.
Absolutely.
So King Price, okay, so
King
they
Price.
do that.
Yes, they do.
All right. Well, then.
I expect a check in the mail, King Price.
well, they've been working with you, but that's great though, because it means, I mean, you're having fun. You're doing. You got to have a bold type of personality to do what you do.
Sure.
And you have
arrogance.
And I wasn't going to say that. But and you have the right reason too, because I mean your heart's in it for everyone using the road.
100%.
Any cyclist type of thing?
Sorry, any cyclist?
Cyclist. I mean, you do bikes, cars.
Yeah. I mean, well, cycling I've actually done. The Chock Cows, Deline Murray, Gerard Myberg and Monet Myberg, they challenged me to do the 94.7 with them. This is actually in 2013. And
wasn't our last weekend?
No, not that one. That was actually the only one I missed. I've done the last two. And but the very first one, they said to me, listen, Pigspotter, we challenge you to come and do a cycle race with us. And I was like, okay, why not? I mean, I haven't touched the bicycle for 15 years, but why not? And it was the most grueling 6 hours of my life. I think within like the first 10 kilometers, my butt was already felt like it was bleeding. Yeah. And I said I know, or shaving cream apparently as well. That also works. And I had a Deline Murray. She said to me, listen, dude, your butt's not sore. It's all in your mind. Just carry on pushing it forward. And such a great bunch of individuals, and they literally motivated and pushed me right through to the finish. I mean, that feeling coming around across the finish line, second to none, absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, it was all obviously in aid of Chuck, and just going through what all those kids are going through on a daily basis, all the chemotherapy and that kind of vibes. It absolutely opened my eyes, and full respect to them for that.
But I mean, also because cyclists also have challenges on our roads.
No, of course. I mean, people drive
so from that point, and they don't always have dedicated lanes.
I mean, I don't know if you saw, like literally 2 days ago, there was a cyclist, obviously training for the 94.7. I was not 2 days, more than that. And in Bedford View, and he crashed into the side of a car where apparently these kids, they were on drugs apparently, and in a VW policy, I don't want to be sued for another defamation suit.
Yes,
and
allegedly,
I should have used allegedly. Allegedly, they literally turned right in front of the guy as he was flying down the road, and he hit into the side of them, died, and and they fled the scene. So just what these people do on these roads these days is
it's unacceptable.
Ridiculous.
You know, every time I get on the bike on the road, if I have to go test one. I mean, I'm an experienced rider, and I ride every time I'm on it. I think to myself, I feel sorry for those who are not experienced, because the amount of times you have to think for 10 cars around you and people and react for their negligence in that.
Yeah.
So it is just.
I mean, that's one reason I would probably never get a bike, or definitely not in Joburg anyway. I love bikes. I think they are absolutely phenomenal. Off-road, yes. On-road, I wouldn't trust the
I challenge
Joburg
you
drivers.
to go in the back.
With you, I'm not even going to do that with you. I've seen how you ride.
Let's do a Pigspotter.
I would do that. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Challenge. All right. Well, we're going to be back in a few moments. We're going to take a short little break. We're going to be back with Cliff. We're going to chat to him about just what are your basic rights as a motorist, what to expect coming up to the silly season now, and how to go about things and how to just behave and not get yourself into trouble and that. And then we're also going to be taking a look at the review of the Ford Focus ST. Video is out on the AutoTrader site, and if you want to get involved in the conversation and you want to join us at AutoTrader SA or myself at Chad Lookoff, at
SA Speed Queen,
at Pigspotter.
At Pigspotter. You should be following it already. I know I am.
I should. Yeah.
But we'll be back right after this.
Auto Central, powered by AutoTrader on cliffcentral.com. Choice. Sometimes you have it, and sometimes you don't. AutoTrader gives you the choice. Now you can shop, compare, and buy new cars. Watch our expert video reviews and research before you buy. AutoTrader New Car. The choice is yours.
And we're back. Welcome to Auto Central. For those of you that have just joined us, we're sitting in studio with Pigspotter. He's now otherwise known as Cliff.
Yes.
Part of the family.
Yeah, I was now part of the family in that.
There we go.
And but just before we left, we were saying that we're heading into the silly season, so things are going to get absolutely chaos. It is going to be roadblock season. 100%. It is going to be bribery and corruption season as well. Bonus period. There we go. So you were actually saying that you don't tweet any information about roadblocks after 8 p.m.
Correct.
Why is that?
Because I do not believe in drinking and driving. I don't assist people who would use my services for drinking and driving. So I just make it a general rule. Sorry, guys, I don't tweet about roadblocks.
Yeah, you got to be responsible there on your own, basically.
A bit of a knock-on effect. If you've done the crime, do the time. I'm not going to tell you how to circumvent the roadblocks and that so that you can still go out and drink and drive, because it is irresponsible. Kill something down the road. Yeah. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, that's very noble in that sense.
Some.
It's a short list, but he has them.
Yeah.
Now, and something that we all detest, and it's sad that the country is in that state where you see a police officer, you don't feel protected, you feel intimidated, you feel 100%. Threatened.
Yeah.
You know, and you're sitting there and you're driving and you're almost getting nervous and you haven't even been pulled over yet.
Sure.
So, I mean, this leads us. And it's the victimization, it's the intimidation tactics. Yeah. And I'm not going to paint them all with the same brush. I'm going to say, but there have been many noted cases of victimization, forced corruption, forced bribery, and it's very unfair, and it's also largely targeted at women traveling alone. And I've seen this myself, traveling behind the girlfriend. Yeah. She gets pulled over, and then as soon as I pull over because we're traveling together, then the tune changes. Because, okay, there are two of them. Otherwise, she was going to blow.
100%.
So what are our...
Sorry, my mind went elsewhere.
Yeah, no,
to the breathalyzer.
I'm trying to visualize it. Okay, that's
my apologies. My apologies. All right. Wow. There we go. Back on track, folks. This is a family show, eh?
Uncensored.
But uncensored, yes, indeed. But now, as a motorist, we have our own set of rights in that, and while you're not necessarily trained in them, no doubt you've been involved with them and you've received the right amount of information in that. Yep. What are our basic rights? What are the sort of things to look for, to do and not to do when you're pulled over in a roadblock?
Okay. Well, look, the very first thing you should not do is call them pigs. Okay, that's probably really
hasn't worked too well for you so far.
No, but on a serious note, I mean, I don't blame people for actually being afraid of the Metro Police. Just literally 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I also retweeted about a cop who's been busted being involved in hijackings themselves. There was also a story on the WhatsApp group. I don't know if it's 100% verified yet as well, but of two EMPD women also being involved in crime, and they've just been busted as well. And one of them was actually being handcuffed and taken away.
So you can't be too trustworthy. You just
cannot,
don't.
You actually cannot be too trustworthy of the police. I mean, how many fake SAPS vehicles are out there as well, and JPD vehicles being
well, we heard that on the hijacking show as well.
There's been a massive increase in that as well.
100%. I mean, and also you get policemen, authentic police officers who are literally renting out their equipment, renting out their guns, bulletproof vests, their uniforms, so they look 100% legit. And people are obviously pulling over because now they think that's the right thing to do, which is generally what it should be.
But you don't have to get out of your vehicle.
Look, if a policeman says to you, please step out of the vehicle, you actually have to. If they actually request that you provide proof of identification, that you actually have to. There's no way you can withhold that. However, what I always recommend, especially to ladies who are driving alone at night, or actually generally to anyone, because it could happen to anyone, if a policeman's coming behind you and puts on his lights and listen, I want to pull you over, stick your hand out the window, gesture to them that you understand that they want to pull you over, but that they must follow you to either A, the nearest police station, or B, to the nearest petrol station. Because petrol station obviously a lot more around, and not everyone knows where all the police stations are. Correct, and there's always camera footage being filmed.
There's activity there, and there's witnesses and the likes.
100%.
They're going to be less inclined to if it is now a situation where this is
not
fake
legit,
police officers and this is a hijack attempt or a robbery attempt, then it is a safer place, and they'll be less inclined to do that.
Correct.
In the environment of, let's say, a petrol station forecourt.
100%. And so, I mean, that's always my very first piece of advice. Yes, definitely go somewhere where it's safe.
Don't just pull off on the side of the road.
Don't just pull off on the side of the road. I mean,
but also indicate to them that you've acknowledged that they are behind.
Yes.
Because, I mean, we've also seen, and there's been a couple of the cases where police apparently have opened fire on somebody that has now deemed to be fleeing and running or armed and dangerous.
But which they're not allowed to, though.
Well, I suppose I don't know if they really are not allowed to per se. I think opening fire out in the general public is, it's a massive safety concern as well. So unless I suppose they're being fired upon, would they only then be able to
only if their
retaliate?
life is at
risk. There was, however, that one shooting that took place. It was possibly about a year ago.
In Rosebank.
I think it was. Yeah,
I think you talked about the one in Rosebank. Yeah, but those people did actually fire upon the police. There were bullet holes found on their police cars as well. Okay. And they did obviously trace them down, and they were fleeing obviously, so they were excessive speeding and that kind of thing. Yeah, so I mean, if a cop's behind you, you're not going to all of a sudden floor the car to try and get away from them if you're not guilty of anything.
And don't gesture with the middle finger either.
Yeah, that
kind of goes without saying now, doesn't
it? But yeah. So I mean, I would definitely say, I mean, just on the safe side, drive to the nearest petrol station, gesture politely that you are. You understand you're being pulled over. Yeah. And I mean, if they want to do a search on your car, they are allowed to. The only things they're not really allowed to go through are like your purse or your wallet. They're not allowed to go through your cell phone, which is actually quite ironic because when the whole Pigspotter thing was all over in the media, they were setting up roadblocks and specifically checking people's cell phones to see if they were me. They would actually take people's phones, open up to Twitter, and see if their username was Pigspotter or not.
But how unproductive do you want to be?
100%.
I mean, really, that is just silly.
Yeah. That was
with all the technology we were talking about just now in the world, they can actually trace you if they want to.
5 minutes
Let's
Google
be
search
honest.
would have helped it.
But I mean, this is now probably one of your largest bugbears as well. I just want to touch on two quick topics while we got the time as well.
Yeah.
Your opinions on what is the biggest change needed? What is the best place to start change for our roads and for the transport system in Johannesburg, because you are mainly located around Johannesburg and that. You said that you tried Cape Town, Durban. A little tricky when you don't quite know the areas and you don't 100%. Have your finger on the pulse. Correct. But starting in Johannesburg, and the crux of it in Gauteng, what's the biggest change needed?
I would definitely say fire the transport minister. In my opinion,
how's that for?
It makes
straightforward.
It makes sense. Let it trickle down from the top, rather.
100%. Because I mean, she honestly, she's more concerned about the e-tolls being implemented in the Western Cape. I mean, she can see how people in Joburg are absolutely against it, how they are despising it, and they're not getting the money. The SANRAL actually is poised to fail, and. I mean, she has concentrated all her efforts towards getting it implemented down in the Western Cape, and although they have shut that idea apparently with, how do I say, with quite exuberance, they said, sorry guys, that is not going to happen. You're not bringing this down here. And I mean, I've tweeted her numerous times, and never once has she ever offered the dignity of saying, hey, listen, okay, cool, I see your tweet, thank you very much. No acknowledgement whatsoever. And instead what she did tweet was, oh, sorry guys, if you're having a problem with the taxis, please phone these people. So take absolutely zero responsibility whatsoever. So I would say get someone who actually has the ability to take on the taxis.
100%. I'm just thinking now while you're saying that. Helen Ziller, what do you call her? What's her name?
Yes,
Helen Ziller.
Yes. I follow her, and I've never seen someone so productive and proactive. I mean, she's just busy the whole time informing and telling. And
she's everywhere.
She is everywhere, and she's obviously got everyone helping as well. But she's great.
No, absolutely. I mean,
and that's what we need. Like
100%. So somebody who actually wants to take the reins and actually make a difference.
Yeah.
Because this woman, I'm sorry, she's absolutely
useless.
To be frank, useless. Thank you very much. So you said it, not me. And honestly, I don't see her doing anything worthwhile. So I would say forget nationalize the mines, nationalize the taxi industry, make these drivers accountable to somebody, because I mean at the moment the government are shit scared of them, quite literally, and they are too afraid to stand up and say, listen, sorry Mr. Taxi drivers, you're not allowed to do this, because they know, I mean, the guys will literally block the highways as they've done in the past. Absolutely, burn down the trees.
There will be a revolt, and it's basically a case of the masses, the numbers.
There will literally be civil war. And so I mean, if they literally nationalize the taxi industry, make things a lot more affordable, be able to pump money into it, make it safer, give the guys specific routes. So listen, guys, you go there,
and parking places, and places to pull off.
Well, the infrastructure isn't there. I mean, the freeway improvement project was probably the first time that they've actually done any sort of major upgrade to the infrastructure in the past 21 years.
Minimum,
if not minimum, absolute minimum. We're going with just turn of the government. Yeah.
This is my 2 cents. Okay. Put every taxi driver on a bike for a week, and you will see how their awareness for bikers change.
Yeah, but you can only take one passenger at a time on that. So how's he going to make his money?
No, true.
He's not going to sign up for that.
This has got nothing to do with his income. This is purely
driver
for
training.
him. It's literally to see how vulnerable he is at that moment and for that week. And because every person in a car who's been on a bike is aware of bikers.
But I mean, also like another massive issue with the whole taxi industry is that a lot of the police officers actually have a monetary vested interest in these taxis. So
they own one somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just one. It's quite a lot of them. Owners, operators, and like it's kind of like a little gang going on that they don't literally won't pull each other's brother off.
Now, don't you feel that nationalising the taxi system in the country would cause that revolt that we're talking about? We've seen it. We saw it with the mines. Granted, that's quite a large multi-billion-dollar industry in this country. Taxis a little bit smaller, I believe. Still, there's going to be a lot of kickback on that.
I reckon, in a way, I think you may be right. However, I think if you take the taxi driver and say, listen, guys, right now, what are you earning? Oh, I'm earning 6,000 Rand a month. Okay, cool. Listen, we're going to give you double that. Okay, we're going to put you on advanced driving courses. We're going to supply you with some bursaries for your family's children's education.
Yes.
If you give them enough incentive, say, listen, we are going to nationalize. We're going to control all of you guys. You guys are all going to be answerable. But we're going to train you, and we're going to look after you.
But this is what you're getting for it,
And this is what you're going to get. I do not think that you'll have anyone arguing against that.
And that's for the operators,
that's an interesting question.
That's for the driver itself, though. But I mean, the owners and operators. I mean, that's a different kettle of fish that now also needs to be addressed. Do you have a percentage share now? Are you now a shareholder, a national shareholder in the National Taxi Association?
Can absolutely do that as well. So listen, guys, it's kind of like rent to buy. So as long as you work for us, you're working towards owning your own kind of taxi. But then again, that now shifts the whole responsibility away and says, listen, okay, cool. If I own my own taxi, I'm now no longer answerable to a boss. We don't want that.
Yes,
we want them
square one again.
Exactly. We want them literally to be answerable to a boss. We want them to say, listen, okay, cool. If you mess up, this is what's going to happen. You are going to be liable for prosecution. Because at the moment they can literally do whatever they want. Yes. And the biggest problem is that a lot of people on the roads, traffic, Joburg drivers, are sheep. They'll literally see, oh look, that taxi is doing that. He's not getting arrested. He's getting away with it, and he's going through robots. I can do the same thing. I can get away with it as well. And that's why we're facing what we're facing these days.
So we need to do Pigspotter. Is there one?
Not that I know of.
There have been a good number. All right, well, we're going to go on to our review. Cliff, thanks very much for that. We'll touch base with you now, but first, onto the new Ford Focus ST.
Auto Central, powered by AutoTrader on cliffcentral.com.
Right, so Ford Focus ST is not so much a whole new car as what it is a facelift. They've gone and they've updated the front end of it a little bit, around the back end, they've tidied up the taillights and that, but it's still the same motor, the same power plant, but the drive is a little bit better as well. Now, the current Ford Focus ST was lamented in its first incarnation. It was lamented because of woolly steering, and it was a little vague and a little all over the place. It didn't quite have that precision that enthusiast drivers were looking for. Well, they seem to have rectified it now with the facelift. Like I say, they've streamlined the front end, they've cleaned up the front air dam, and it really does look menacing presence. It has a menacing presence. It looks purposeful, and it goes just as well as what it looks. It's still the same power. It's still 184 kilowatts. And power-wise, yes, I had it here 2 seconds ago, 340 newton meters of torque. Now, not the most powerful that you're going to get in this hot hatch segment. There are slightly more powerful. You're going to get the Astra OPC, which is a little more powerful. That comes in at 206 kilowatts. And, of course, the Renault Megane Trophy 275, which is 275 horses. If you're Imperial, if you're metric, it's 201 kilowatts.
So do you like the new look
of the ST?
Yeah.
I do like the look of it. Sadly, the drive left me wanting a little. It was a fun car. I took it out on the track and threw it around the corners a little bit, and they fitted a limited slip diff to the front, which a powerful front-wheel drive car needs, and it works great on the track. But on the road, there's still quite a bit of torque steer, and it bobs and weaves a little bit from side to side, but it makes it a fun and exciting drive. It's just a little bit tail-happy for my liking, and that means that it's not ideally suited to the layman out there or the inexperienced. It is a car for experienced drivers, because as soon as you get excited and you turn off the DSC button, the stability control, and you throw it into a corner and you feel, ooh, I've gone in a little too hot, and you don't know how to use a diff, an electronic diff, and just touch on the brakes or a little more power just to bring the nose back in,
you're going to have a problem.
You're going to lift off.
Sure.
And when you lift off, the tail's going to come round, and you need to be quite quick to catch it. There was an instance where I wasn't quick enough, and that's me. I'm quite accustomed to this, and I was preempting it, and I wasn't quick enough to catch it and to get back on the power and pull it out of that. So I don't want to say that the handling's sketchy, but it's very excitable. It's got a light and excitable tail end, and that makes it a real fun car to drive, but
it could be dangerous.
Could be dangerous as well, yes.
I just don't like the nose. It looks like a permanent... It looks like a shark or something with its mouth open the whole time.
It's the current design ethos at the moment, and it's a line that they're going with, and it's very
not the prettiest.
No, I don't know. It's like it's squinting, and the mouth's open.
Now that's where because they've made those headlights a little more streamlined, so it does have that squinty face sort of look to it. Yes,
and
if you had to personify a
grin with the lips
vehicle.
open.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the back end's tidied up nicely. But that front end actually isn't that bad. In the flesh, it looks quite good, and it's got a nice presence on the road. And the nice thing is it's immediately distinguishable on the road. You can tell that is a new Ford Focus.
Yes.
And in this day and age where a lot of the hot hatches are just cookie-cutter designs, your OPC looks like your Renault Megane, your ST's very similar. Cookie cutter. It's just you've just got that one shape, and it's just bang, 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 bang. All the same shapes come out.
Yeah.
All the same shapes come out. I mean, you had that in the 90s with the bikes as well.
Yeah.
If you painted a bike white, you couldn't tell whether it was a YZF, whether it was a GSX, or whether it was ZXR. You couldn't tell what it was. They were just so similar. Fortunately, we're steering away from that again because, and it's design trends and.
Personality, I think, as well.
Yeah, the ebbs and flows of it. And there was a lot of copycat going on, but they're starting to find their own place again.
And I think a lot of what the, the people, what's a better word for that? Your
consumers?
Yeah, your clientele.
Okay. Their clientele, yes. Okay.
Wants and needs. That's what I mean. Get into it.
It is. Often a manufacturer will try and make for too broader a spectrum of people, a broader spectrum of interest, and they try and cater for everybody. But as we all know, you can't please everybody all the time.
Go with the ones you support
some of the
as well.
people some of the time.
Especially Pigspotter.
There we go. We know that all too well. But I'll tell you what.
I need to ask you a question before.
It was a good car. It only comes with a 6-speed gearbox. There's no option for a dual clutch transmission, a DSG gearbox, or anything of the sort. So you have to climb in and you actually have to drive this car, which makes it nice.
100%.
Interior space, they've also cleaned up the interior. The center fascia and the sync system used to be cluttered with buttons. It looked like our mixing desk over here. And to try and find something while you're driving was an absolute nightmare. So they've cleaned it up. They're not out of the woods just yet. It is still quite cluttered in that, but it is easier to find odds and ends. They've got the Sync 2 system in there now, which has a nice big, I believe it's 8 or 9 inch touchscreen. And that offers you, all the options that you'd want for navigation, which is an optional extra. But
how much extra?
Not quite sure. Because
those are
listed.
normally.
I think it's one of those sort of.
Is it a 5,000? Is it a 30,000? These things are.
It's geared for it, so it's not a full system. It's basically just software and maps that needs to be loaded up onto
so
it. The system is ready
much.
for it. It just doesn't have the maps loaded in that.
Okay.
Pretty much the only options you've got is sunroof or alloy wheels, and that in the ST3 trim. The ST3 Ford Focus ST is going to cost you $421,900, which isn't bad money.
Hey, no.
A manual Golf DSG, that's a total oxymoron. A manual Golf GTI is going to cost you 416,000 Rand before you've added any extras to it. Then it makes less power.
So in its class was what
you're
saying.
Class, it's not badly priced. It's really not badly priced. The only ones that come in more expensive are now your DSG offerings, which are still offering you less price, but just a slightly better, more convenient drive. The Renault Megane Trophy, which sadly is the one that I'd put my money onto, and then the Astra OPC, which is basically R500,000 Rand.
Ish.
And weighs about 200 kilograms more. So the ST is a good car. It was fun to drive, but it isn't for inexperienced
novice
drivers.
Yeah.
And if you want to see the video review where we throw it around a little bit around Red Star Raceway, then you're more than welcome to make your way to autotrader.co.za or the YouTube channel for AutoTrader South Africa, and you can go and check out there.
That should be fun. That's left, right.
It was very interesting in the closing corners, and those are the ones that were catching me out, because you go in, turning back on yourself, and you sit there and you think, whoa, I've entered this at the right pace. And as you get in, you realize, I'm in a little too hot, and you lift off of it hoping that the nose will come in, but the tail comes round, and then you need to catch it. And just very lively.
But rather that than understeer.
The understeer is now curbed by the limited slip diff, which is a lot better, but you just need to keep in mind that this car is equipped with a limited slip diff, and I can just power myself out of the corner, and it's not just going to pull me into the hedge. Once you're used to that, I would recommend taking a driving course with this vehicle.
Training.
Be a responsible driver. Go out there.
100%.
Well, we have run out of time. You had another question for Cliff here.
Yeah, I want to know what.
Quickly.
Do you currently drive something exciting?
I do actually. I drive a Volvo C70 T5,
which
in actual fact
that's why you were sitting here going.
ST.
It is, yeah.
2.5 turbo.
Oh, okay. Now this one has the newer 2-liter. 2-liter 4-cylinder. So the older one was the Volvo modular motor. The 2.5-liter T5 motor. Yeah. Same motor.
You love it?
One.
Love it.
It is a very good motor. Bit thirsty.
Yeah, a little bit thirsty. I consume about 16 liters per 100 k's. But one thing I must say is that
more tweets to pay for.
No, absolutely. No, because it's a convertible, obviously it's a lot heavier. I do not find the control as nice as the like the V40, the Volvo V40s, and but one problem I do have with this car is extremely low. So speed humps, South African roads, not great for
potholes,
this car.
Yeah, those kind of things.
Painful.
Wow,
I've gone through 2
nice
already.
Car.
Thank you.
Sadly, that's all the time that we've got for you this week. Thank you very much for joining us. Cliff, we want to thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. I don't think that this will be the last time, in fact.
I was going to say the exact same
We're going to
thing.
have you in here. When there's some drama there, we're going to rattle your cage. So expect a couple of our tweets from there. And if you guys are on Twitter, please do follow at Pigspotter. You can follow myself at Chad Lookoff at SA Speed Queen. Of course, if you'd like to join George as well, who's in absentia here today, at George Mini, or just AutoTrader as a whole, at AutoTrader SA. So we'll see you guys next time. Please drive safe. Thank you very much.
Central, powered by AutoTrader on CliffCentral.com. This is CliffCentral.com.